ఇప్పుడు ఆ తల్లి మహాతల్లిని నాకు కలవాలని ఉంటుంది ఎప్పుడైనా నిజంగా ఎవరైనా.
You know, every criminal in the world will give you an explanation as to why he is doing it. And when you hear his story, you will agree with him.
Right.
Unless he's a madman. You know, so there is an underlying issue with almost everybody in the world today. But some of them chose to be criminals. And they are very confident in their head that that was the only way that they could have done what they did.
Right.
So I don't want to hide the fact that, you know, he was a hero and, you know, he helped a lot of people. He was doing this because, you know, he wanted it done. It could be because of his mother. It could be just because, you know, he started getting the greed of gold. But for me, he is definitely a criminal because he's chosen his path. He's not, you know, just 8 years stabbing somebody because, you know, he needed food.
Yeah.
He knows what he was doing.
Right.
And whether his mother told him to do that or somebody else told him to do that, everybody has some way of working around what they do in this world.
Right.
For him, he chose to be a criminal. He is a criminal. There is no two ways about it.
So building on the fact that you see him as a criminal, Rocky is this most fascinating character, right? At first, he is a proper gangster. Like in Mumbai, he's a gangster. In Bengaluru, he's a gangster. Then they send him to kill a bigger gangster in Garuda, who's running the KGF mines. And once he enters that place, you kind of steady yourself for a typical transition of heart or a bit of something. You just wait for that. So because he's seeing a lot of cruelty around him. He's also seeing acts of great bravery and kindness, like the man who sacrifices himself for the sake of, you know, like not revealing who Yash is and all that. He's seeing all that. And he kills Garuda, and everybody accepts him as their savior, as their messiah. But there is, at the end, you still say that he did that to gain control of KGF and to get these men as his soldiers so that he can continue to mine for gold himself. So that's like this fascinating thing that even though he was probably getting a little influenced by the kindnesses and the acts of bravery and all that kind of stuff in him, his real goal never wavered. In the sense that in chapter 2, the Chacha character says, you're doing the same thing as Garuda does. And the Ichuri Rao character says, like his mother was there to start his journey, but now there's nobody to stop him. Do you think that this man is somebody who misinterpreted his mother's wish and kind of set out on that one path almost like a madman, let's say?
Pure story point of view, I think it is very consistent with the character. It's just that his situation was very different at that point of time. He was
in KGF.
He never took his eye off the ball.
Right.
At
that's
any
what
given point
it's
of
very consistent. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think him becoming a messiah was a byproduct of what he was doing
right.
there. I think he would have sacrificed everybody for his goal.
Right.
That's something that I strongly believe, and I wanted to make that a point. Yash was very clear that, you know, that is how it should come across. But I think it all became a byproduct.
Right.
You know, he was improvising at that point of time. If I am going to be a rowdy still, I'd get shot on day 1 in KGF. So he was trying to understand this world. He took 20 years to understand what Mumbai was, and he was starting to gain control of it.
Right.
He has to give a little time over here in KGF.
Right.
So I think the character was very consistent. It was always meant to be something where, you know, he was trying to understand this world, the difficulties over here. And then all this happened. All the melodrama in KGF happened, which is very natural. You know, when you have bondage, even the worst human being will have that heart, you know, to want to help. And probably it was a design also that, you know, we have a big star and we have to put in some of these things. But from pure story point of view, you know, we wanted the ending to work.
Right.
As to why he was there and what he understood from this place and you know, he was planning all along that, you know, if I have to gain control of this place, I need this, I need to do this, and I need to do this. I think people also saw the Messiah side of it far bigger than him being a villain, but that is what cinema does to you, you know.
Right.
You can make a hero out of Pablo Escobar also. When you watch his story, he's killed a lot of people, but he looks like a hero, you know. You feel for him when he dies in the end. And this is the earlier point that I told you, you know, that criminals, when they tell you their story, you don't think that they're wrong.
Right.
So that's probably the general idea behind it.
Yeah, because, you know, when I was watching KGF 1, I thought this was going to be a typical, you know, like okay, hard-hearted man, and then now he's softened by all these cries of pain and this and that and all that. And then you have that twist in the end that this is all done in order to kill Garuda and gain control of KGF. So it's almost like this classic misdirection had happened to kind of I mean, I don't doubt that maybe he felt a twinge of compassion for, you know, like whatever happened or something like that, but his bigger goal never wavered, and that was, I think, fairly new for a big hero movie kind of thing, right? Because it's like you either have them play outright evil, which where they rarely do, but here this guy was like, he's like, from the beginning of part 1 till the end of chapter 2, he's like, I've got my goal set, boss. I'm not going to change. This is what I am. So he's like